it's Tara Green here, and I want to talk about the big Capricorn super buck moon, July the 13th, 2022 at 2:37 p.m. That is Eastern Daylight Time. Now, there's so much going on at this full moon. Now, of course, it is the brightest super moon of 2022 because the Earth and the Sun are at their closest, so the moon will look brighter. Okay, now because it reaches fulfillment in the afternoon, you would have to either see it on the night of the 12th or the 13th, maybe even into the 14th as it comes up. So, Capricorn, that means that the supermoon, where we're going to feel all the feels, is very strong because it is in Capricorn, the earth sign, ruled by Saturn. That means there's always a restricting, held back, or a tough test going on during this full moon. All full moons are fulfillment phases, so we want to think back at where we were when there was the Capricorn new moon at the beginning of the year. So how far have we come here? We're like just past halfway through the year. So there you can see the moon. Now this chart is set for Washington, D.C. We're going to ignore the cusps, though. So you can see there's the moon conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto's retrograde. And then again, there is Saturn, the ruler of the moon, in Aquarius. Okay, and Saturn is also retrograde at 24 degrees. Now, both the moon and Saturn are connected to big fixed stars, and so they carry a portentous meaning as well. I'm not going to go into that too much, but it just adds extra meaning there. Because again, it's Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. So you got to remember all this time since the beginning of 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn came together at 21 Capricorn, we've been under this heavy Capricorn influence. I mean, really, you could say Saturn has been ruling the world since 2008, late 2008, when Pluto first entered Capricorn. So really, as Pluto moves towards its end of its journey in Capricorn, it will first enter Aquarius on March 23rd, 2023. You want to look back after this whole period, actually. And so what happened at the beginning of 2008 with the subprime mortgage collapse? And of course, this is on the 11th, just 2 days before, America has experienced its second exact Pluto return. Now, this one is closer to the exact return in the U.S., what they call the Sibley chart, because Pluto was also retrograde on July the 4th, 1776. So this one is actually mirroring more of the exact state that Pluto was in when the U.S. was founded. So this is really the Great Reset. What is going on in the States? What is freedom? What's liberty? What's democracy? Why was this country founded? And we can see, a lot of the early kind of themes they're repeating. Okay, so normally, because the full moon is closer to the earth, yes, you will feel it. It'll pull on its tides, but again, there's going to be this restriction or heaviness. Saturn is like lead, so there could be depression and repressed feelings, which is not good. Cancer is ruled by the moon, which rules the stomach. So be aware that your stomach might be feeling really off, really sensitive. Of course, remember, it's a Capricorn supermoon, so this is all about the patriarchy. And if you're a woman, of course, in the U.S. and whatever your political views are, oops, sorry about that. It's really about what real freedom is, and it's not just for women; it's for everybody, and that's what the major issue is about here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to adjust that. So again, all the restrictions, the lockdowns, you would go back and look at, what happened when Saturn and Pluto came together at 21 degrees of Capricorn, 22, because that's really where the moon is now. So think about, again, that big Saturn-Pluto conjunction, January the 12th, 2020. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left the royals exactly at that time. They were like the embodiment of the energy that's going down. We don't listen to the old order. We're not part of the old patriarchy. So all the words about colonialism and all of that, are really still part of this. So again, this really does hark back to the beginning of COVID. Okay, and here we are 2.5 years later, and really need to seriously, that's Saturn, and maturely and soberly and realistically look what's going on. Okay, now, reality is different depending on who you're talking about. Now, speaking of the unreality principle, there is Neptune, the planet that rules everything that's unreal. Saturn is everything physical, real, tangible. Neptune is ephemeral. It's spiritual, it's creative, it's imaginative, it's Hollywood, it's glamour, it's oil, it's debt. it's surrender, it's mental illness, it's addictions, okay, it's secrets, it's karma, it's hidden enemies. I could go on and on. Okay, so Neptune is sextiling, which means an easy aspect to the moon and Pluto. So again, Neptune-Pluto energy, I really do feel that was also instrumental in describing what COVID was all about. Was Neptune rules drugs, it rules hidden enemies, it rules mental illness and incarceration and jails, and Pluto rules the plutocrats. I mean, so I keep asking myself this question: if Pluto is supposed to come along and destroy everything it's going through, everything that it's not really helping the world soul, which Pluto does represent, your individual soul, the world soul. Pluto's supposed to destroy whatever is not really on the soul's path. It looks to me like on the outer level, the plutocrats are trying desperately to do the most ruthless, underhanded, secretive, all the negative, most scorpionic, death-bringing aspects, of Pluto. So we're still in that process, right? And sometimes you have to be pushed to the extreme to see it. And that's Saturn kind of like pushing our face into that hard reality. Saturn in Aquarius is about new technology, nanotechnology, gene splicing, manipulating CRISPR babies, the internet, cryptocurrencies, all of that stuff, right? Still going on. Now, what else is going on here? Okay, so the moon in Capricorn is squaring Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer. So this is really the wounded masculine coming up here. Oh, my little kitty just woke up here. The wounded masculine, and so there's lots of talk about that, about the toxic masculine, which is what patriarchy is all about. So, yes, I'm all for Pluto decimating the patriarchy, that false hierarchical structure and those false belief systems, and Neptune ruling Pisces, the age of Christianity is based on the sun entering the age of Pisces, okay? So secrets, hidden secrets would come up right now. Chiron and Aries, again, people are being very defensive, and but there's also new beginnings and new firepower that needs to come to the fore. Chiron is squaring Lilith in Cancer. Now, Lilith in Cancer, she is literally the goddess of abortions. So there we go, kind of women getting mad about the restrictions, new restrictions, old restrictions. Chiron is also squaring Mercury in Cancer, very close to where the U.S. sun is, which is connected to the biggest, most beautiful star in the sky called Sirius. Eros, the god of erotic love, is actually sitting right there on the U.S. sun. I guess love it or leave it. And Chiron is also squaring the sun in Cancer there. And also widely squaring Sirius. So Sirius, the great mother, in Cancer, ruling our sense of what do we need to feel emotionally safe, our homes, our children, the womb. Cancer is literally the womb. That sense of women really standing up against the plutocracy. That's really a lot of what this is about for me, and breaking through those restrictions, right? All right, now Venus, the goddess of women, of money, of love, of relationships. She is in Gemini at 24 degrees, conjunct to Betelgeuse, one of the biggest stars in the sky, also the North Star, which is close to that at 26, Gemini, opposite the galactic center. So Venus in Gemini is about relationships, it's about communications, it's about information, it's about the trickster, the duality, whose side are you on, having dualistic characteristics, angel, devil, two relationships, two jobs. So we're getting, it's like double speak, very literally. Venus in Gemini is literally double speak. Okay, so that's Big Brother. And I really know that that's what's going on. I don't believe it's just like astrology. I don't believe in astrology. I know it's real. I know it's validity. So Venus in Gemini could be all about, two partnerships, debating, anger, again, back and forth, divide and conquer kind of energy. Venus is squaring Psyche, the asteroid Psyche, and Psyche represents psychology, the soul. Again, it's over there at 15 degrees. All planets at 15 degrees are at their most powerful. So 15 degrees of Virgo, which has to do with money, with savings, with perfectionism, with worry. And, I do feel like the world is in a very extreme state right now. I've certainly been picking up on that for the last month or so. Actually, very extreme. I think people are more worried now some ways than they ever have been. And so, a lot of people are self-medicating, or their working conditions are changing. Psyche is widely opposed to Neptune and Pisces. So escapism, escaping into the glamour or the false belief systems or addictions, that's very rampant right now as well. So Venus is squaring Neptune as well. So again, what's real, what's an illusion? We kind of keep going back and forth. We don't really know. It's again, well, Neptune and Pisces, we've been under this very long cloud, fog, deception, fake news since, Neptune entered Pisces in 2011. It will still be there until 2025, 2026, at which point I can't wait till Neptune entered Aries, actually, and it's the big cosmic slap in the face, the big bang to wake everybody up and going, what the F has been happening all these years? Where the hell have we been? And then people are going to be really mad. But anyway, won't go into that right now. Mars is at 5 degrees of Taurus. So Mars and Taurus, very stubborn. Very much about holding on to our possessions and being aggressive about possessions and land. And, you can see that eked out in farmers in Holland and fighting the system that's trying to force them to let go of their crops for some fake, climate change, reducing, that kind of stuff. That's not really true. It's really big corporations, which is what Pluto and Capricorn represents, is really the culprits. They're always blaming the little guys, and they're also trying to starve everybody out right now and finally bring down the world economy. So that's Taurus, the bull market. And the markets have been lower, and that's Uranus is at, already up at 18 degrees of Taurus. They're conjunct the North Node. So the North Node is our evolutionary higher goal. Again, so Taurus wants to hold on. It's very stable. It's blue chip things. It is your land. It's your home. It's your resources. It's everything physical and tangible. Fiat money. The US dollar is crazy high. Cryptocurrency is down. Uranus rules cryptocurrency. I believe it's all being totally manipulated, actually. And that's really Pluto, is the what you can't see. It's invisible behind the scenes. But the North Node in Taurus, sextiling Cancer there, Mercury, the Sun. Understanding that our emotions are really what is the most valuable tool we have, and your emotions will never steer you wrong. So on this full moon, it's about getting grounded in your emotions, getting grounded in the body. I think it would be good to step away from your computer. If you can, it's up in the northern hemisphere here where it's warm. It's one of the nice warm nights when you can be out under the full moon. Definitely be out under the moon. If you could be near water, that would be good too, to honor the sun. And really, again, look back at how your life has changed in the last 2.5 years. Because, the revolution is about to begin. That's really Saturn Aquarius is about, and Pluto in the second U.S. Pluto return. It is happening. I believe it's inevitable. Jupiter's in Aries there as well. I haven't mentioned Jupiter so far. Jupiter in Aries is sextiling Athena in Gemini. So this is where you need to have a battle plan, a strategic exit plan, I would say. And Jupiter is not widely, it's squaring Lilith. Again, Lilith, the first woman, she refuses to participate. She'll just walk off and be alone. If you're not going to meet her halfway, she's going to leave. So this is, I think, the sentiment that all women are having. They do not want to participate with the churches or anybody who wants to put power over them anymore or dictate anything, and that's good. The women really need to rise up and really start the revolution, because really the women usually control the spending of all the money. They may not be the highest earners, but they certainly do dictate where the money is spent. And so again, I would say that this Capricorn super buck moon, that's one of the names of natives, because the bucks who usually fight over the females actually lose their antlers at this time. So you want to buck the system, I would say. The South Node at 20 degrees of Scorpio there is about what we're releasing. Again, ruled by Pluto, ruled by Mars, that South Node. It's in both earth signs, so we have to really listen to our bodies and think about what we need to release. It's an emotional, and it's very physical, just like the elements of the supermoon here. So you can see there's a big grand water trine there of Mercury conjunct the Sun. Mercury is actually going to conjunct the Sun in another, what they call a cazimi, on the 16th, which is kind of really nice for talismans and intention setting. And that happens at 3:38 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 16th. It happens quite often, but it's a good thing to really tune in your thoughts, to really, if you want to manifest anything, you have to use your emotions. So it's the emotional realm and the feeling that you already have what it is you want. So put out, the feeling of the success you want, or the nurturing you want, or the emotional safety you want, right? In Capricorn, or the material success. Capricorn has to do with your long-term plans and goals. It does rule career. So think about your career. Think about where you want to be. This is a Saturn-ruled full moon, so Saturn moves in archetypal 7-year cycles, or the 7-year itch. So you see, commonly things, balance out. People say, 7.5 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, 21, you're a legal adult. And then at 28, 29 is your, the first Saturn return. So pay attention to your body. Really pay attention to how, how your stomach is feeling on this full moon. Understand that the body and the emotions are one, and they are your first line of defense, actually. The mind is really just the operating system. I'm sitting here staring into my little kitty's eyes here. She's so cute. On this chart, based for Washington, D.C., Scorpio is rising. So again, we've got that strong Mars-Pluto influence of people being angry about restrictions, about values, about, food prices going through the roof, about gas prices going through the roof. That's Neptune and Pisces. Sextile Pluto. Again, I believe this is all planned on purpose to just, break the economy. Break the economy. That's Uranus and Taurus. It's literally about breaking up the old order, breaking up the economy. Whoops. Hey, what the hell? Oh my God, that just stopped on its own. Are you joking? My computer's been doing all kinds of wacky things that just popped up. There's a ghost in the machine here for sure, and I want that ghost out. So out that ghost in this machine right now. My Microsoft Word isn't working. My mouse, it's like doing all kinds of weird things. But anyway, let's see. Something else we haven't mentioned here. Yes, Ceres. So it's about food. Ceres conjunct the Sun opposite Pluto and the Moon. Really, you should be growing your own food. You should be working with communities, local communities, different support systems. I mean, that's how it was always done. A lot of people have been moving to the country. If you can do that and establish community, that's better. I would really strongly advise that, because that's really the Aquarian model as well. Yeah, things are very, very intense. Oh yeah, I wanted to get back to that Washington, D.C. thing. That it is Scorpio rising here in this chart, ruled by Mars. Traditionally, Mars is right on the descendant, conjunct to what's called the part of fortune there. You can see all at 5 degrees of Taurus. I'm going to look up what that 6th degree of Taurus is and then write something about that. So if you have any questions, you want to get in touch with me about a reading. Okay, one more thing I want to mention now as I'm looking at this chart. Juno, the asteroid goddess of feminine wisdom, she is conjunct Neptune, at 21 degrees of Pisces. She's also sextiling the moon exactly. So pay attention to these degrees, the degrees that repeat. Again, the moon is at 21, Juno at 21, North Node is at 20, virtually 21. And so, those sextiles one to the other, it's like a half a 6-pointed star, actually, all those sextiles. Juno represents seeing in all 8 directions at once, not just one. It's omnidirectional, it's omnidimensional. And people talk about you're moving into higher dimensions. I always think that Juno is that genius, that feminine genius that is not linear, not logical, but sees all the different possibilities. It's like Spider-Woman who's weaving the web of reality. All right, Vesta, the goddess of investments, she is conjunct, she's at 6 degrees of Pisces. She is conjunct the fixed star that represents the Archangel Gabriel, and also sextiling Mars, the part of fortune there. So I would really pay attention to investing your energy into the Archangel Gabriel, who's been coming up a lot these days in my readings and channelings. You just call upon the Archangel Gabriel. The star is at basically 3-4 degrees of Pisces in tropical astrology. Call Gabriel in. You know, he is the one who blows the trumpet on Judgment Day. No, I'm not a Bible thumper here. Judgment Day represents our own judgments and freedom from our judgments. And Archangel Gabriel will advise you. So just ask Archangel Gabriel to give you signs and symbols, because that's his job. So all you have to do is ask, and also pay attention in your dreams. Okay? With Juno sextiling Neptune, sextiling the moon and Pluto, I would really pay attention to what's going on in your dreams right now. There may be feeling like this big blurring of reality. You know, Saturn is basically at that midpoint between Pluto and Neptune right now. Pretty much, okay, at that midpoint. So it is the powerful crux or crucible of matter right now. So also CERN doing things, you know, trying to chase some particle there and accelerating the magnetism of the Earth does change things in our reality. I mean, they could totally open up a big wormhole or change timelines or whatever it is they're really doing there. And so really tune into the deeper meaning of what's going on. And also in Pisces, it is about surrender. It is about being with what is. Okay, but don't be a passive victim. Don't be a passive scapegoat. Don't be the martyr here. Okay, that nice, beautiful, grand water trine, I would really strongly recommend that you get into a bath, that you do a ritual bath with rose water and lavender, and really cleanse and really take yourself back to the womb, your mother's womb, because that is our one absolute common denominator beyond all races, religions, creeds. We all were born of woman. The sacred womb, the holy place, is the most holy place in the universe. It is a replica of everything in the universe, and the James Webb Super Telescope just brought back the first images of 13 billion years ago, apparently, on the Pluto return, the second Pluto return in the US. So we're getting to have a sense of this outer deep space, which means we need to go deeper and deeper into our own deep space. You know, where were our souls at when we were just cosmic diamond stardust 13 billion years ago? I worked with a Tibetan Buddhist Rinpoche. He was the first Westerner to be recognized years ago. He was born in Hamilton, Ontario, actually. He said that you remember the Big Bang. You were part of it. You were your consciousness. There's a particle of your consciousness that was there. Everybody has that. You just have to remember it. That's all there is to it. So remember who you really are and why you showed up. I'm working on it. I'm getting my book finished. So I'll let you know about that. So if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com. This is ending at 22 minutes. Sending you many blessings.